Hello, I've got a great one for you today. We're taking a look at one of UniFan's first RGB fans. It's the BR Digital 120. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 LED RGBs, making it one of the better fans at creating a uniform color-changing effect across the fan. But how does it actually rank as a fan blowing air? Is it just pretty lights, or is it actually any good? Well, for some basic spec information, it's a 27mm thick, 120mm fan. Amperage is listed at 0.2 amps, 900 to 1800 RPM, 29 decibels, 57.97 CFM. Sorry, it should not say pressure there. That's a little bit of typo on my part. I do apologize. 1.46mm H2O pressure and fluid dynamic bearings. First is the case simulation test. You use this data to determine which fan to get for what size case you actually plan on buying. First, the 6-inch mark is represented by your small form factor computer cases that have a front to back airflow, or a short throw distance, like blowing air from the bottom of your case towards your GPU. And it would be represented by a computer length that can only hold about a 120mm class fan, or maybe 140mm class fan in its length. Next is the 9-inch mark. The 9-inch mark is represented by a case that can hold a standard ATX motherboard and GPU of equivalent length, but no extra room. Think of a case that could hold two 120mm class fans, but no extra room beyond that. Then we have the 11-inch mark. The 11-inch mark would be your standard mid-towers. It'd be able to hold 320mm class fans or a 360 AIO or radiator. Then we have the truly large towers, which is at the 14.5-inch mark, and this would be able to hold 3 or more 140mm class fans. So as the case gets bigger, the airflow actually matters a lot more, and you want that line to be as flat as possible. All of this would be compared to against my control fan, which is base 3 parts A12X5 to 1 part A14. The vertical axis here is airspeed. The horizontal is distance in inches from the front of the case from where those fans would be. So showing how much airspeed is being dissipated or slowed down by the nature of these fans, meaning does it create a nice constant airflow or is it spreading out? And it's pretty clear that the BR Digital is crap. Like, if you're looking at anything other than a tiny computer case, air goes everywhere and it slows down and it's completely ineffective and useless. And I have on here the AL120 and the SL120 as comparison points. By comparison, those two fans look excellent. How about at 100% PWM fan signaling? They all follow the same trend line, very far away from my control fan. So they're all very bad. Let's keep moving. How do they compare against other fans I've tested? Oh, that's not good. Well, that's a shame. No, I'm sorry. That's being a little sarcastic, but it's bad. I mean, before this fan, the Storm 120 was the worst, and this fan is right in line with the Storm. No. Let's move on. 100%. Any better? Well, it beats the NFS12A, which is spinning slower and is making less noise. But by a larger case, even that fan is equivalent to it. Let's just move on. And noise level. And this is where the problem is. This fan is just all sorts of full of harmonic frequencies. First, it starts off very loud, and then it gets quieter as we increase RPM. And then it gets really loud, and then it comes back again. So just trying to calculate a noise normal result for this really was a challenge. And then it kind of climbs. So wow, lian-li, you've come a long way since this piece of junk. 20 to 100. Next, how does the fan do in terms of RPM versus airspeed and noise versus airspeed? Through my CPU air cooler, the Noctua U12A, the vertical axis is airspeed, the horizontal is RPM. On the left graph, on the right graph, it's airspeed, and the horizontal is decibels. So in terms of blade design, the BR Digital apparently is a little bit better than the control fan, but once we take a look at the noise results, it is a hot pile of garbage. Data point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know that doesn't add up. But it gets quieter, gets really noisy, comes back, goes around. So I would just avoid it because it's full of harmonics, and harmonics are annoying. Or harmonic, I'm also referring to resonant frequencies. They're kind of the same thing. How does it compare against other fans I've tested? It's in the middle with the best way I could estimate it based on fitting it between its harmonic frequencies. Made it not very reliable result for this particular fan. Most of the other fans are more linear. And at 100%, it's well towards the bottom. It's not, it's noisy. It's noisier than most of the other fans around it for its given airspeed. So, okay. And, here's the graph again. It's out of control. Other fans are better than it. Just pick one of them. Like the UniFan P28 or the P12 Max or anything other than this fan.
Here we are in the open box experience and fan blade analysis. So obviously I've already tested out the fan. We open it up and that's slid in. It comes with a little fan hub. It's pretty basic. It has a double-sided sticky tape on the back so you can mount it to the back of your computer case in the back area so that it'll sync everything up. And one of the main notes about this is all the fans will run at the exact same RPM. This is a dumb fan hub. I don't know if any smart ones exist on the market. I haven't actually looked into that. But basically you would plug in the master to your motherboard, and then this would power each of the other fans, and they'd all run at the exact same RPM. What else is in here? We got some screws, we got the other fans, more screws, some information, and we got this box. In this box, we got a whole bunch of different cables. So it's got fan extenders, it's got the standard split out so that you can power 3 fans, the RGB lights, off of one motherboard RGB control unit. Real simple to just plug in. So that's pretty nifty. It has 3-way splitters, extenders, and everything like that. I even saw a SATA power connector for 2 prongs for something. Plugs into something. Plugs into this. It's a control unit, so I don't really want to open it up. It's got the 2 prongs there. PWM 4-pin fan header there, and then it's got like low, medium, and high probably for just 3 distinct settings within the fan itself, as opposed to controlling it via your motherboard's PWM fan signaling. Alrighty, let's take a closer look at the fan itself. So first off, the frame is not a pressure frame. See these jungles in and out? If you were to put fan next to fan next to fan, there'd be areas, gaps, that air could just seep out through, so it would spew out to the sides. So it's not overall the best frame for pressure type applications. And, well, in the test we found it's a bit noisy for airflow applications. So I know that I'm in this section, but personally I just avoid this fan unless you just really like its aesthetic. The back housing, black. I don't know, I think it would look kind of cool if they put this metal finish on it. Then it would look at least a little bit more stylized. Unfortunately, lian-li did not. This was, I believe, one of their first fans to market. So they're still in the learning process of fan production. But it does have little rubber pads on it. You can see the exposed screws for assembly. So in theory, you could probably go and full on take this thing apart and take off this metal outer ring if you really wanted to. 2 cables coming off of it. This is before their, what's it called? Sorry, the name of their Connect system is blanking on me, but whatever that system is called. These struts are flat. They're flat. No angle to them. They're pretty average thickness. The frame itself, the blades sit underneath this metal ring, which has a little bit of an inward slope. That's interesting. So the metal ring extends out over the fan blades just a little bit, so my finger can actually get inside there. So the blades are inside this metal part. Unfortunately, it does that on both sides, which means that it's actually blocking part of the exhaust area of this fan. So that's not advantageous for airflow. The blade design itself is pretty unremarkable. Honestly, it just reminds me of an older style fan from probably 2006, 2010 era. Nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just not as advanced as things have come nowadays. There's also a good amount of flex in the blades. Oh, I just noticed that. There's a little... No, is it just my imagination? Well, it looks like there's a little bit of a lip at the edge of the blade to channel the air along it. Just to try to keep the vortices from rolling out to the from the edge. So I don't need to worry about as much about the gap, which does look to be not substantial, but it's definitely present. Overall, I would say that this fan design is fairly unremarkable, and the main reason you're buying it is for the LED lights. This is the RGB effect for the lian-li BR series. And we're going to try to get the focus on the lights themselves. So I counted like 12 little LEDs around the ring. They're actually so tight in there that the camera's having a hard time like distinguishing them. Let's see if I can change them. So they're really tight in there. Let's change it to a rainbow effect and see what we're looking at. So the main reason I bring up the number of RGB LEDs is because the more lights there are, the smoother transitions there are between each color. So it allows for more color mixing, so there'll be a smoother transition between each of the colors, depending on how it's set up. So as it's actually like rotating around, I can see the transition happening very smoothly. So each of the colors, so like right there, there's one right here, one right there. And I can see the color change, but the light path that extends out is a much smoother transition. So kind of on average, cheaper fans that have RGB lights will have like 6. Middle of the road, middle expensive, I guess, for RGB LED light fans will be like 8. So the fact that this has 12, in terms of its lighting effects, puts it in the upper realm for within the fan blade itself. It is up to you as to whether you prefer this kind of appearance. For me, with lian-li's fans, I like the Infinity series better, but it's overall pretty good. There is a little bit of wobble in the metal ring there. You can see it bouncing a little bit. It's just not quite perfectly centered. A little bit unfortunate there.
And last but certainly not least is CFM testing. Vertical axis is CFM, horizontal is RPM. On the right graph, we have CFM is vertical and noise level is horizontal. And it's basically a similar result. We're going to keep moving. Compared against other fans, towards the bottom, let's keep it moving. 100% pitot fan signaling, it's towards the bottom. And we've seen this before. We talked about it. No need to beat the dead horse. That brings me to price. Well, at time of filming, I checked Amazon and it's currently unavailable, but maybe it'll become available whenever this video actually comes out. But it comes in a triple pack for $59, or I'm estimating about $20 per fan. At that price, at the 6-inch mark, it's actually not a terrible value, somehow. But the resonant frequencies, this is like hitting a false positive. At the 11-inch mark, it basically is a value of 0 because it had no airspeed. So don't buy it. CFM testing, it's sort of okay, but again, it's got harmonics. Let's move on. CFM's okay. We're just gonna move past this. So this is the raw data. The raw data belongs to me. If you want to use it for your own personal use, you may do so. And now I want to talk about this fan. I do not recommend this fan. Hands down, period, end of story. Normally, I'm not that strongly opinionated about the fan, but this had so many harmonics and had such weird behavior that unless you absolutely need the 12 LED RGB lights sitting inside of it, it is noisy. It has harmonic frequencies, resonant frequencies, and its behavior was sporadic and out of control and very annoying to deal with. Yeah, anyways. Moving on. If you like what I'm doing with this channel and want to see more of it, I have lots of fan videos. If you'd like to help support this channel, I do have a Patreon page, or you can join me as a YouTube member. Both or either will go a long way in helping support this channel, in helping it grow and buy better equipment, because I want to get real testing microphones, better anemometer, better test chamber, noise isolating chamber, just everything. And instrumentation I have to buy, but the sound chamber I can build. Really would go a long way in helping grow this channel. Regardless of that, I plan on trying to make videos as best as I can, at least for the time being. If you got suggestions for more fans for me to take a look at in the future, please leave it in the comment sections down below. If you got suggestions on ways I can improve my videos, please leave those in the comment section down below. I'm always trying to improve. I'm looking for constructive criticism only. If you're going to rant and rave, I don't need to hear it. But if you're going to actually try to help me improve the way I make videos, I will more than happily listen to it. Anyways, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope to see you next time here on Computer Tech and More. Have a great day.